Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
Jason Levine.
And today we're taking a look at a game called the Arkham Asylum Files Panic in Gotham City. This is from Infinite Rabbit Holes, and this is an escape room game. It is a replayable escape room game. It 100% needs an app. On a phone, really, because you're going to be moving it. It institutes AR. Was that altered reality?
Yeah, virtual reality, augmented reality, AR, yeah.
It's about 5 to 6 hours, and that's definitely true as you play through this box. So I'm going to show you just a smidge of the game because I don't want to spoil it for you. Then we'll talk about what we thought. So here's a little bit of what's in the game. The game will have packages. There is this one, and this one's not really a surprise. There is a Joker mask in it, although you can get one with a Batman mask. The game is going to be filled here, and you can see all sorts of envelopes, and each of these envelopes will be pulled out and have all sorts of different puzzle pieces in them. You're going to be building the board here, which is a city. You also will have a newspaper here. That's a 2-page or 4-page newspaper with stuff that may matter or not. But the main thing about this game is the app. So the app will often have, this is where you enter the questions. Like it says, this clown's such a card. What's he hiding behind his back? You go here and you type, I don't know, whatever you want to type. We is behind, that doesn't make any sense. So that's not correct. So you can't go farther till you get it correctly. There is a hint system here where it says open the black box with the green bow. Ooh. And then there's more hints, and you can even skip a puzzle if you want to go to the next thing. Many times it will have you scan something. So here it tells me to scan the GGNN Jumbotron, which is on the side of this building. So when it tells you to scan something, and you will scan various things in the game, you actually have to try to scan the Jumbotron. There's the Jumbotron down there. Let's see if this works. It's hard to do this and the camera at the same time. So you can see then that it's showing a video on that Jumbotron. Which looks like an actual news broadcast. Breaking news.
What a day for me to end up back at this place.
And the main character of this
silly.
is Dr. Quinn.
Again. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was a total zoo this morning.
I don't know how you weaseled your way back into work.
So Harley Quinn is in this game. And that's about all you get to see of that.
I can't believe
The app tells you how far you've progressed throughout the game, and you'll go through each of these different envelopes and going through and opening things and closing things. And that's about the game. I can't show you much more without spoiling stuff. There is a ton of puzzles. I would say about there's 7 chapters, and each chapter has at least one puzzle, but can have up to 3 or 4. And some of the puzzles have multiple parts to them. So there you go. That's how it plays. All right, we want to talk about our thoughts here. We're not going to spoil much for you in this game. It does show you in the back of the box that you're getting a mask, so that's not a surprise there. And there's a lot of interesting things in here. Frankly, this is like the most deluxe escape room game there is.
Yes.
And you got to realize that going in. This is expensive. It is a game that you can let someone else play. It's replayable, although I don't think it'll be as good the second time around because you are manipulating some of the pieces and you'll have to put everything back. It's a bit to put away.
Yeah.
But the second person won't have to build those dumb buildings. And if you're Infinite Rabbit Holes, if you're watching this, don't do those buildings again. Some people might like building them. Maybe you do. I don't.
Well, with the foam core, that was the problem, is they would half fall apart. They're great because part of the game, which I don't know if we showed in the simulcast, but you use your app and you're moving around and there's things that you discover on the buildings, which is great. It's just the foam core was really hard to put together.
Yeah, and you got to know going into that, right? So there are very good, well-done puzzles in here. If you like escape room style puzzles, they're there. But there's also a lot of video, a lot of voiceover work. There's a lot of that where Jason said you're moving the camera around and looking at stuff in buildings. It's not quite video game, but it's close.
It felt cinematic to me. Like it didn't feel like a normal escape room where you're just flipping some cards, doing a few things. Like the app made it feel like a cinematic experience. Like we were really there with Harley Quinn and everything else as everything was happening. And it felt like you were in a movie rather than just playing an escape room.
Yeah, so in this game, Batman's there, but he's mostly background. Joker's also background. It's mostly Harley Quinn and the new villain. We won't spoil the new villain, but there's a new villain that you're dealing with. Or maybe an old villain, who knows? But it's a villain, right, that you're dealing with. And that's a lot of the stuff. They have actual actors that are, they have that whole, look like some extras hired to do a newscast or whatever. There was some really funny surprises in here.
Yes.
There's one in particular that happens really early on.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorite surprises in any, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, it was great. And like, we've already surprised a few people.
And the mask actually matters. And there's all kinds of stuff in here that you go through. There is some scanning of stuff, some puzzles. I got a little tired of holding the phone while trying to do a puzzle on a few of them. There was one puzzle in particular. It's the one we did today at the very beginning. That was my favorite puzzle.
That was cool.
With the little notebook and stuff.
Yes, that was very good.
Yeah. And some of the puzzles were okay. There was a couple puzzles I thought, like I do with every escape room, how on earth were we supposed to figure that out? While other puzzles, as soon as we saw them, one of us was like, done. We know how to do it. A lot of logic puzzles. I guess the question here is this valuable to you? If you like Batman, 100%. And it's not just like some walk in the park escape room. Some of those puzzles are pretty tricky.
Yes, they were.
There are hints, and you can even skip a puzzle. Like if you cannot solve a puzzle, you can skip it and just keep going on with the story. And I think that's okay. There's one puzzle still that I'm not sure that we even figured it out, even with hints.
Yeah.
And I mean, we brute forced our way through it.
Yes. We figured out a way to do it, but without doing it the way it was intended to be done.
So I like it. It's a hard game to give a rating to. I think I'm going to give it an 8. And the reason I'm giving it an 8 and I'm not going higher is because it's expensive and because there's a lot going in and it takes up a huge amount of space. I mean, this is not a small amount of space to take on your shelf. But also, it's really cool. It's really fun. I think at least older children could handle it. There's nothing too dark. The Batman universe can get super dark sometimes. There's nothing too dark in this, and they're going to love the AR part. Watching a helicopter fly through that city on the phone is really neat. It gives you a good chunk of time. I mean, you're getting 5 to 6 hours. I don't think it works well for a lot of people. We did it together at 2, and that felt like the best way to do it. I feel that way about a lot of escape room games, though. But I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to see what Infinite Rabbit Holes does next.
Yes, well, I'm with you there. I'm actually giving it an 8 as well. I really enjoyed it. Like I said earlier, I love the cinematic part of it because it felt like you were in a movie. The app, this is the first escape room where the app actually means something to the escape room. The app, you're solving puzzles through the app. You're using the app to scan around. You're getting AR. You're getting...
It's a little bit like Chronicles of Crime.
Chronicles of Crime in a way, but you're getting that whole cinematic world with all the characters, and they're, besides the real life characters, you have all the animation, like the Harley Quinn animations, and et cetera, and it really feels like you're in the world and you're like going through files of criminals in Arkham Asylum, where I would have went a little higher, but the one problem I had with the AR, which was great, is you're putting the phone around and there's a map that you have to use, and a lot of times it kinked out where we had to then back up the phone and put it back in to get it to work right. And that is the only reason I'm not giving it a little higher is because of that. It
works pretty well, but occasionally, yeah, you're right. You're like, oh, I need to move the phone. And sometimes I'm like, there's this video playing. Where is this? Oh, it's over here. They have this little system. This isn't really a spoiler, where there's ink blots that when you do it, it shows like a little video. That was cool. I like that a lot.
Yes.
So if you're looking for like a grandiose escape room that doesn't feel like the other ones, it doesn't feel like Exit and Unlock and all the other escape room games, and with a really, really, really strong theme, then this is up your speed. So there you go. That is Panic in Gotham City. I'm Tom Vassell.
Jason Levine.
We'll see you next time. Yeah.